Alright, you guys, 69 sub special, meeting all of my pets. Right now I'm just taking all the stuff out of my mouse tank so I can clean it. It smells really bad. It's a 20-gallon aquarium. This is all shredded paper bedding. Sticks, toilet paper tubes, food, oxbow. Oh, here they are. Hey, buddies. Hey, come on. I haven't seen you in a while. Hey. She hates me. Anyway, here's... It's so dark, Jesus Christ. Oh, here's Yang. Hi. Hi. Aw. There's Epiphany right there. She hates me. Well, she's not really hatred, she's afraid of me. The other two, not so much. Yang, I've had the longest now. I think I've had her since August. Epiphany and Charon. Charon is the little one who's... I don't know. You can totally not see that, but she's getting a drink. Right there, when I got her, she was a runt. She's still a runt, technically, I guess. Come at me. Hey, come on. No. Where'd they go? Oh, there's Charon. Epiphany is in the tube. There she is. She is not happy right now. This is where I put them when I clean their tank. Right here. This is a 10-gallon aquarium. This is where I put my first two mice. Just gonna put that there. Shoot. Anyway. No. Here she is. So you can see her better. Epiphany is really pretty. She has lovely ruby eyes, just a white belly. She hates being held, so I'm gonna put her down. There she goes. Someone's thirsty. Where's Charon again? I'm gonna have to remove her. There's that stick. That was my aunt's. Here's Charon. You can see her a little better in the light. I'm just gonna pick her up now. You know what? I'll just take out the rest of this stuff. Come on. I haven't seen them in a while. I mean, not her, Yang. I've seen pretty much nightly. Also, I'm kind of ruining their home. Just absolutely wrecking it. Hey, come on. Here she is. She is nice, long fur. Come on, focus. She is the only one of my mice who has black eyes. She's also got this really pretty golden color. She weighs about half as much as a normal mouse. She's not underweight or anything. She's just very small. Come on. There she goes. And now for Yang. I don't really know how old she is. Probably about a year or so. I haven't had her for that long, but when I got her, they said she was a couple months. I got all of these mice from Petco. I think they take really good care of their mice, personally. That's just me, though. The only issue I have, necessarily, is that maybe their enclosures are a little overcrowded, especially the males. But overall, I think they do a pretty nice job, at least the Petco I live nearby. Because they use, good food, good wheels. They're not mesh, they're a flying saucer. My flying saucer is 8 inches, and so are theirs, so they're, perfect size for mice. The mice aren't sick. The only thing about Charon is she was really, really small, kind of underweight, and Epiphany's fur was really stringy. and it's definitely sleeked down a bit, so I don't think she was that healthy, but she's a lot better now. First 2 mice I had, that was Yang and Yin and Yang, of course. Stupid. Anyway, what happened with Yin is she ran away. Almost like I had her for a couple weeks, so it's not like she was just poorly cared for. I had her for a couple weeks, and I would take them out to play with them, but she ended up getting away. I didn't exactly have them in the most secure area. I kind of just put a blanket on the floor and let them run while I was closely supervising them. You know, pretty closely. If I did, you know, see them at all times, or, you know where they were, not see them because they were in a blanket, I would pretty much rummage, but I saw her run away. She ran away 3 times, I think. Once she was just gone overnight. Another time she was gone for about a week, and, yeah, so the last time she just never came back. After that, oh god, this is a train wreck. I'm just gonna pick this up. Kitten skull, right there. This is my possum skull. That goes here on top of, can't see that very well, but that's a dragon. That's my pheasant, which I have, taxidermy pheasant. This is a raccoon skull, almost the full thing, except for 1 front tooth, and that really bothers me. This is my cat's skull. He was a pretty great cat. It's not like it killed him. He had been killed by a raccoon after he ran away. He was, one of our cat sitters did a really bad job, and they were abusing our pets. I personally blame her for his death, but, so, he ran off, and he was killed by a raccoon sometime later. So when I got back, this is probably one of the best cats ever, I'm sorry. He was like a dog, but he loved everyone. I decided that I couldn't really just let him go like that. I have a hard time letting go of things. So I took his skull. I had to snap his neck, his dead neck. He was twisted and contorted all sorts of ways, and his intestines were coming out when we found him. They were all dried out. It was really gross. Oh, here's Selena. Hey, Selena. Hi. There she is. She has nice eyes, but I still don't like her. Our cat's Selena Twitter. They're, I think, 6 this year. Charlie, he's turning 3. He's the youngest. We got him after Nigel died. If you guys want to meet my dog, you can. Not right now, because I'm busy. But she's new. The dog is part pit bull, so she's super cute. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Back onto the mice. Hi, Yang. Hi. Second mouse I got, well, second in addition to Yang, who was the veteran through all of this. Second mouse I got, her name was Delta. And that time, I did go to PetSmart to get the mouse, because we live a lot closer to PetSmart than we do Petco. And since they don't usually have fancy mice, they just... Okay, so PetSmart takes really, really terrible care of their mice. And, well, it was really evident, especially in Delta's case. So Delta, she was... I wanted a mouse, so they checked in the very back, just the back of the store, and she was the only one left. No, it's really bad to house mice alone, especially females, not necessarily males, because, like hamsters, they will usually kill each other or fight, because male mice are very, very territorial. But females are social, they need friends, and Delta was just completely alone, and she didn't even have a wheel or a food bowl, or, well, she of course had water because she was alive, but she was kept alone, and all of her pellets were strewn all over her floor. All she had was a purple hide, and that's the only thing she had in the bin with her. It was not even like probably about half the size of this. It was really, really small, and she was just living in absolutely abysmal conditions. And well, of course, at that point, I was like, well, I have to get her out of here, because she's clearly miserable, and the people said they just picked her up, just straight away, just picked her up. And they said that she was super calm, and, well, she seemed calm, she wasn't moving, although I knew there was something wrong with her at the time. There's Epiphany. Hi. But she wasn't moving at all, and she just was terrified. As soon as I got her out of the store to, take her out of her little carrier box, I was able to put my hands in the carrier boxes with these mice, and they would sniff it. Of course, they weren't too keen on being held or handled or anything because well, they were new, not tame. And what is she doing? That's gross. They weren't too keen on being handled, but Delta, instead of just backing away or sniffing, she tried to jump out, and she actually bit me really, really badly on one of my fingers, and it started bleeding, so I, of course, didn't take her out until we got home. She and Yang seemed to get along really well, because there wasn't a lot of squeaking, but when I looked closer, Delta was just cowering in the corner, hands up, totally just surrender, and every time Yang got even close to her, she'd just back up and just, whoa! Because she'd clearly not seen very many mice in her lifetime, so she was poorly socialized, and being kept in the back of the store, she's of course not going to be used to people at all. So she definitely wasn't used to me or any of them or Yang. And overnight, I began to hear that they were fighting a lot, lots of squeaking, fierce squeaking. It wasn't like they were fighting. Yang is definitely not the aggressive type. And Yang had been alone for a couple of weeks, so I'm sure she was glad to have the company. But Delta was just not working out. Whenever I tried to take her out to, try to get to know her a little bit, she would always bite or jump. She would actually have that really terrible habit of jumping into the air and biting, and I was like, I can't give her away. She's so terrible. Eventually, after having her in with Yang for so long, Yang began to, be a little off, just frazzled, and she would jump too. She became nervous and jittery because of the way Delta was acting. So, well, you can't give away there's my dog. You can't give away a mouse like that. I couldn't give her to my friends, especially not alone, because, well, that's terrible for mice. And I couldn't give her to my friends because she bit, she jumped, she would definitely run away if she had the chance. This time I was just keeping her in my bathtub. Jesus Christ, Selena, you can't get them. Give it a rest. You can't get her. But, yeah, I think I did the only thing that was ethical. You know what I did to my cat. Well, I was researching all these different ways to humanely put a mouse down. I'm gonna get tons of if anyone ever sees this video, no one is gonna be happy about what I did. But I had to put down the mouse. And what I did is I made some CO2. I used this tank, actually, as the chamber. It's Mauschwitz. But that just, stop. That just put her into a really, really dizzy kind of state, and once she almost fell asleep. But what I had to do was I ended up snapping her neck. I kept her, I froze her, of course. Get down! So, that's that. That's just the story of my mice. Maybe I'll have a follow-up where you see what I did with the tank. But I promised a face reveal, and I'm ugly as hell. But sup? Yeah. Whoop and good.